3, 2, 1.
And now, you're tuned into the Navarro-Miller Report, featuring the hottest in news, entertainment, sports, and all those topics for the mainstream audience. The Navarro-Miller Report.
Examine your reality.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Navarro-Miller Report. I'm your host, Dave Navarro.
I'm Jeremy Miller.
And today we have special guest co-host, singer-songwriter Michele Christensen. Michele, thank you so much for joining us here on the Navarro-Miller Report.
Thanks for having me. Super excited.
I'm sure that after this, you'll probably be like, I want out now. Just get me away from these guys. But it's okay. It's okay. We'll be gentle. It's all right.
You know what? Well, I have a bartender on hand. Oh, just kidding. Just kidding.
There you go.
I wish I had one over here, trust me. But anyways, wanted to welcome everybody to it's Friday, y'all. It's the weekend. I mean, you got your bartender ready to go right there already, Michele, so you're good to go. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be we've had an incredible week. We have a lot of stuff to cover to end today's episode. But Jeremy, you have your usual crazy offlandish stories, including one having to do with a phony Nintendo rumor?
Yes, apparently there was a large rumor started this morning on a website called Hard Drive, and Hard Drive is a Onion-esque satirical news site. So very much like the Onion, they post satirical stories to try and poke fun at people's gullibility and, you know, people's willingness to believe anything, you know, that's written out there. And they released a story this morning that blew up, stating that because Saudi Arabia has now purchased 3% of Nintendo, that is actually true, apparently. Mm-hmm. They're banning women drivers in all Nintendo Mario Kart games. Nice. And this story took off. I mean, it was one of the first things that popped up on my news feed. It's been one of the most Googled news stories all day. And for me, it just speaks to how desperate people are to try and believe something negative. You know, yes. I mean, we just saw this with Joe Rogan this last week. He went off on a totally fake news story on his show. Him and his producer didn't even bother fact checking it. They literally got caught on the show going, wait a minute, why can't we find this? This can't be fake. Wait a minute. Because they were so desperate to believe something negative about people they don't like and already have prejudice about. Mm-hmm. You know, he was like, oh, this is too juicy. This is too perfect. This is my chance to slam them. And then he actually said on air, wait a minute, this can't be fake. It's too good. It's like, what?
He's like grasping for straws. He's like, please don't let this be fake. Please, God, don't let this be fake.
It took 5 seconds to fact check it and find out that it was completely false. And he didn't bother because people are so desperate for to believe anything negative.
I mean, Jeremy, in Joe Rogan's defense, he's not a real journalist. I mean, real journalists fact check. I mean, they actually, I mean, the good ones, that is, you know.
I was going to say, in the old days, they did. I'm not criticizing him for not fact checking it. It's not, I mean, it's his people's job, not his, but it just speaks to that willingness. I mean, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. People, you know, on the left do it, people on the right do it, people in the middle do it. I mean, I've done it, you know, when I've seen a story.
People just want to see, like, there's energy, you can go positive or negative. And people think it's easier to look at the negative, when realistically it takes just as much energy to look at the positive. And the more you're putting out there that's negative, that's what you're going to get back. So if, like, you look for the positive is going to come back. And that's what's sad. So when people are wanting to support that, I'm like, ooh, go do it. You can take all the negativity.
What about what about when you're positively negative? Like,
oh, like you.
Exactly, like me, you know. I mean, I'm positively negative. So
let me ask you a question. I want to get Michele's take on this, because what this also brought to mind, this news story for me, I understand why The Onion and these other satirical news sites do it. I understand they're trying to lampoon and point out the ridiculousness of it. But is it a good thing at this point in time when we're already dealing with so much misinformation? Doesn't it really just, even if it's satirical, even if it's supposed to be making a point, doesn't that just erode our trust in what we're reading and what we're finding? I mean, we already have that so much right now. Even though their intentions may be good, I think it's a problem. What do you think,
It's all about,
Michelle?
like we were just saying earlier, attention is attention. Good attention is attention. Bad attention is attention. So a lot of times people are just trying to get their voices heard, and people are drawn to negativity more than positivity. And that's just the sad part about it. I don't agree that, I don't think people should do that. I think if anything, people have to twist it around and turn it and be the positive spokesman, like, hey, check this out. This is funny, but look how, put it in a positive twist rather than that negative twist. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how I
I
look
agree
at it.
completely too.
Yeah, it's kind of like I hate being or another host to the Navarro-Miller Report because of Jeremy, but I love the fact that I'm here.
Well, that's what
being
I
able
was
to
going
be
to
here.
say the same thing. I just didn't want to say that out loud.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
I'm kidding.
Anywho, well, that's
it's okay. We gang up on him sometimes too. It's my turn.
Okay.
Yeah,
See,
exactly.
I'm good either. I'm like the nice mediator.
she's Sweden right now. She's trying to stay neutral as she can be. So I'm sorry,
I
Sweden,
am.
Switzerland.
I was going to say Sweden.
I was going to say
Oh,
Sweden
geez.
just gave up their neutrality
I
after
was like,
35 years.
I'm now concerned for both of you.
Hey, I'm a journalist, not a geographical guy. All right, give me a break here. So, I mean, well, that's actually a very interesting fact. The fact of the matter that people will believe damn near anything that as long as it's juicy, especially people like Joe Rogan that apparently need something juicy to make their show. But the problem here is that as juicy as it was, it kind of, well, I mean, I don't think it's going to ruin him at all. But his credibility is a little in question with that, especially if he decided to go ahead and put a story out there and didn't even have the true facts behind it. That's something that people are going to be like, okay, so
whatever you put out there, it's behind your name. That's going to be behind his name forever. When you look him up, it's going to pop right up right under him. It's not going to, any of the other things right now you look it up, that's what's going to pop up.
Exactly.
You got to think about what you want behind your name.
Exactly. I completely agree. Wanted to welcome people on the stream right now. If you want to go ahead and chime in on some of the stuff that we're talking about, feel free to. I will go ahead and read it off. If you have any questions for our special guest co-host here, Michele Christensen, feel free to put it up there. In other news, Jeremy, you still have more. The world is just full of crazy people, but in this particular case, in this particular case, we have a senior prank that had some major consequences. You started telling me about this, but before the show started. But what exactly happened?
Well, is at a high school in Texas, and it was just supposed to be a very innocent senior prank that unfortunately devolved very quickly. Apparently, some of the students got permission to plaster the hallways and every classroom with Post-it notes. Every wall, every surface, I was like, that's pretty cute.
Work.
It's
that's a lot of work.
Funny.
Oh, it is. But it's a
cleanup.
decent senior prank. It's well, kind of creative, and they actually had a school official, administrator, go and observe so that nothing was going wrong, because it was after school hours. They couldn't have the kids running around in the hallways and stuff. And apparently just more kids kept showing up, and it just devolved. A small section of the students began vandalizing. Smoke bombs were set off in multiple areas.
Oh, man.
They
ruined it.
They ruined it. They trashed furniture. And it was all live streamed and videotaped, basically. So they have the proof as well. So all of the kids who did this are now going to be facing criminal charges, as well as being responsible for the monetary damages.
All of them?
I don't know. They have the ones on camera. So
I was about to say, because they
legally,
can't
they would.
Like, I'm sorry to cut you off. I wouldn't think that the entire senior class would get penalized for what a small group did, in my opinion.
Well, legally, there's no grounds you can't penalize the whole senior class.
But I'm sure
on a-
everybody that they have on camera. I mean,
But,
if
yeah,
it's
exactly.
videos,
Everybody.
whoever actually probably recorded it is probably going to be punished. I mean, and this is from my perspective, because they were able to stop it or to leave it. Instead, they chose to record it for
Exactly.
their own proof. You know, so they're participating in it, even though they're not doing it. They're doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's absolutely, and they're legally speaking, there's probably some charges there that they could face.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just sad that it devolves into something like that. I mean, my school, we took a lot of pride in our senior pranks. But I can tell you my senior prank, my class, I helped both classes before us because I was friends with the older kids.
You. That was nice.
Well,
of
they
you.
were, it was nice of them to let me. I was I was only a junior and a sophomore. You know, hey, the seniors were letting me, do something cool with them. But in my junior year, we rebuilt all the classrooms on the roof.
Oh, wow.
Our classrooms had flat roofs. It was totally flat buildings on the top. And someone who could have been me, maybe, I don't know, got the keys from the administrative office. And we went in on a Saturday when no one was there. And we opened every classroom in the high school. And we rebuilt every single classroom perfectly, chair for chair.
Oh, my gosh. That's
the
pretty
desks, everything on the roofs. And honestly, even the staff was like, I can't even be pissed.
They're like, dude, this is genius. This is actually really freaking good. I would.
Now,
as a staff member, I probably would be the same thing.
I would have shook our hand if I was a staff member. But our senior year, my senior year, the kids got it in their head that they were going to, I don't know where they got the sand and the dump truck, but they turned each and every classroom into a beach.
Oh my God.
Now that takes a lot of cleanup and time and money. And our senior class was punished. I was not involved in that one. When I found out what they were doing, I said, that's on you. And I was out.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's just sad. You always get some troublemakers in any large group, and something that was just kind of a fun prank, something fun to, be a send off for the year for all their friends, turned into something that, is going to cause them problems for the next, short while.
Possibly for the rest of their lives too.
I'm curious, Michelle, you look like a troublemaker. Did you cause any trouble your senior year? Come on.
I don't know if you guys really want to know what I was doing in my senior year.
Oh, come on. There's got to be some juice there.
Really exciting.
She's like, I put chickens out like in the middle of the school.
I grew up in a really, really small town in New Mexico, like super small. So I was one of those women that got knocked up. So I was pregnant my senior year.
So that was your senior prank. That was your senior prank.
Bam.
You're like, my senior prank? I'm pregnant. What?
Welcome, child.
Well, I don't know. I mean, my senior year,
I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, it happens.
Absolutely.
Keep it
It
real.
happens. No, I mean, my senior year, I mean, I wasn't actually there for the senior prank. I decided to take a senior day off. And I heard about it when I came to school the next day. Apparently somebody played the old Adam Sandler principal announcement skit on the loudspeaker throughout the entire school to hear. And because we had announcements every single morning, instead of the regular announcements, somebody went in and put the tape in. At the time it was the tape. And they played it for the whole school to listen. I wasn't there. I'm so angry I missed it. But I mean, we had, similar to that senior prank, we actually had our rivalries. We had the rivalries.
I did do stuff with that.
Yeah, I mean, homecoming, what we would do against our crosstown rival, we would go over to their school. I mean, the year before us, they caused a lot of vandalism. Actually, their school came up to ours and broke windows and decided to put Jello in the pool. I mean, they put a lot of like blue Jello in the pool because that was the school colors. And so we put red dye in their pool actually. And so, but we didn't cause any vandalism. That's the only thing, because there was a couple of people that came and spray painted the walls too. And that wasn't a part of what we usually did. Our year, what we did, we the seniors decided to guard our school on homecoming, the day before homecoming or whatever, the entire night, because we knew they were coming. And we were patrolling, like we were taking shifts. We were patrolling the entire school. And then around, finally nobody came, but around we told one another, we're like, all right, we're gonna wake up 3 a.m. We're gonna go to the school, all right? Let them be fast asleep. They're not gonna be up by that time. You down? I'm like, let's do it. They came and picked me up around 3 a.m. We went over to the school, toilet papered, allegedly. There, I'm not implicating myself in any of this.
Possibly.
This is all hypothetical. What happened really a few years back? Somebody toilet papered their school. They picked me up at 3 a.m. so I could go ahead and make sure nothing was going on, nothing wrong was happening.
Yeah.
But as soon as I turned my head,
supervising.
Well, no, I didn't supervise. I turned my head for a second, and when I turned back, suddenly there was toilet paper all over the trees. There was red dog bones all over their grass. It was weird. I was like, wow, that was magic. But that's about as far as we got. As far as they got. I gotta not implicate myself into that at all. But that's pretty much, those are like innocent type of pranks that we did back in the day. I mean, I'm sure that it's gotten crazier. Also, we also have a bee that at our in the mountains of where I live, and that bees, that stands for the city, and also that was the first initial of my high school and the rival high school. So every year there would be turns on whether or not who would dye the letter B in the school colors. And we'd always go back and forth, fight back and forth. The first year it was a red bee, then it was a blue bee, then it was a red bee, then it was a blue bee. As soon as you look up and you saw the color, you knew we won the prank war at that point. We won the rivalry that year. If we saw the other school's color, we're like, oh man, we lost. Somebody got there before we did. So it was always fun. It was always fun to do. So it was cool times.
We used to like for homecoming, whatever. There was another school. It was Aztec, and we had Bloomfield and Kirtland. They're like real small, like within 15 minutes of each other. But we would actually, not me myself, but people. Somebody would go and they would on the big A mountain in North Hill, whatever. And all of a sudden they would light a fire and make it B. So they would like put it on fire. So the whole town would see the B. And so they finally, so then they finally, after a couple of years, or I guess it was the next year, they cemented the stupid A. And I was like, well, not that I had anything to do with it, but you could still do it. Realistically, but that's like probably the worst we did.
Well, that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
I sat guard for Tommy Trojan my freshman year.
Oh God, really?
So that these Bruin buttheads didn't come and try and paint him blue.
He'd be a better color. He'd be a better color.
Nah.
That whole red. I don't know about all red.
He's not red. He's a crimson baby.
Whatever. It's red to me, okay? You're all a bunch of
that was fun, I gotta say, though. That's, the traditions like that for homecoming, for rivalries, for all that, they're so much fun when they remain innocent like that.
Exactly.
They don't do it anymore, though. Now it's like somebody's always getting hurt, and it's vandalizing.
Exactly, it goes too far.
And there's videos, and people are wanting to be their own star, so they want to post it. And really
when there's no damage done, it was a good day. That's the bottom line. When there was no damage done, it was a good prank. So, well, I mean, too bad for those seniors, unfortunately, that are getting caught. But you know what? Do the crime, do the time. That's the bottom line. In other offlandish news, we have a former Jaws actor that has become sheriff of the same town where they filmed Jaws, Jeremy?
Yes, actually. So, Jonathan Searle, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. If you recall, in the original movie Jaws, there is the scene where two brothers prank everyone with a cardboard shark fin. And everybody freaks out, and all the shark boats go out, and these kids come up from the water facing rifles, right in their face. Mm-hmm. And his character looks up and just totally steals the scene, shaking, almost crying, and just points to his real brother, who was the other actor, and goes, "It was his idea. He made me do it." This kid didn't want to be an actor. He was an island. He grew up on the island his whole life. And he became a cop, followed in his father's footsteps, and has actually been elected sheriff
That is crazy.
of the town. And it's exactly where they filmed. And now this kid who played the merry prankster is their actual police sheriff. And he's never left the town. He's been there his entire life.
Was his slogan, "You guys made me do it"?
You guys...
That's probably his slogan. "You all made me do it." Okay, that's on the sheriff.
I hope he never gets caught for doing anything wrong, but if he doesn't use that line, he's a moron.
In other news, sheriff has been implicated in drug smuggling. They made me do it.
It was his idea. He made me do it.
He made me do it. Yes, I hope he has a cheesy look though, or smile when he does it.
I know, right? In his slogan. That's awesome, though.
Jonathan was actually quoted by the local paper as saying, "The irony is not lost on me. This is pretty amazing."
That's cool. Well, congratulations to him. In entertainment news, we go over to entertainment news, and the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial continues. This time, former associates of Johnny Depp testified in court as to some of the things that he's being accused of, which is drug abuse, alcohol abuse, violent behavior, things like that. His ex friends with benefits, to say, she's they had a sexual relationship. Actress Ellen Barkin actually testified and said that there were times where basically Johnny would get jealous, very jealous. There was even a time where there was a scratch on her back, on Ellen's back. And Johnny got really upset, accusing her of sleeping with another actor that wasn't Johnny. He threw a whiskey bottle across the room. That was one accusation. And then another person that testified was his former business manager, saying that a lot of his alcohol abuse and drug abuse was very costly financially. But that business manager also sued, had a legal situation with Johnny Depp. So, that's kind of a, as they would say, in that aspect right there. So there was also his former agent also testified, saying that they were trying to make Johnny's comeback, and it was very difficult because he was under the influence of a lot of substances at the time. He was very difficult to work with. Pretty much everybody just going against this is the defense, so everybody's going to be going against Johnny Depp in this particular case. It's just and of course Ellen Barkin went ahead and said, quote, he was a jealous man, basically claimed he would ask her as well, quote, "Where are you going? Who are you going with? What did you do last night?" Giving her the third degree. But in all of this, not once did I hear anything that he put his hands on her or anything like that. Exactly. I never heard anything like that. And in my opinion, that's what this case is really about. Physical abuse, domestic violence. It should be
about.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, it's one of these things where it's not one single person said anything about that. From what I understand, I mean, the only person that
I haven't heard anything.
I haven't heard anything either.
One of them come forward with something that damning.
Only one of the former associates did mention. I forgot who it was. Did mention the bruise on Heard's arm, saying that it looked like somebody grabbed her and bruised her. That's about it. But other than that, I mean, I haven't heard anything. I mean, we also heard Amber Heard's sister testify as well, but that right there, it's Amber Heard's sister. It's a little biased testimony in my opinion. Yeah. So, I mean, what, like, really let's give Michelle, Michelle looks like she's got a lot to say here. So I want to give her the floor on this. What do you got to say about this?
I think there's a lot of jealous people because basically they were hanging out with the cool guy and the cool guy dumped them. And that's all it is. And so they're wanting to get back at him. The girl wanted to be one woman wanted to be the girlfriend, and he didn't want her, and so she got hurt. So let's see. You're always gonna think about what you went. Oh, this is what he did. He was jealous. Probably wasn't. You're probably just upset. I wasn't there. Just saying. From my perspective, how women tend to be, not saying she's that person, but come on, like, he didn't want you. And he's dated all these other people and married them. And he even said, I'm not interested in you. And she admitted that he said that. And I think for me, it was probably more of an ego thing. So let's see, how can I get back at him? Going to the business manager and all the other people who worked with him, he got rid of them. He moved on to somebody bigger and better. So what are they going to do? That's their money. Their money just left him. So what are they going to do? Say something negative. They're not going to say anything positive about somebody when you got fired, right? When's the last time you heard somebody say, oh, they fired me? I miss them so much. Right. They treated me amazing.
That's a good point. You're right about that.
Oh, gosh. I mean, let's be real.
You're dead on with that. I mean, that's how I was feeling about it as well. And I'm not accusing
I'm not accusing
or any. I know you're not. But watching this, all we can do is judge our own belief in their credibility. Yes. And when you have negative things, business-wise or otherwise, with people, that does take away from some of your credibility when you're saying negative things about them. Now, on the controlling and all that kind of stuff, to me, I'm like, I mean, yes, patterns matter, but I can tell you right now, when I was that age, I was a jealous, controlling POS too. I was. It took a long time to grow up. It took a long time to have some confidence in myself and to not be like that. I was a jealous, controlling person in my early relationships. I fully acknowledge I've grown and done a lot of work to get away from that. But being an immature, jealous, controlling person at 20 some odd young years old is a lot different than being a 40, 50-year-old man who may or may not have done some growing and changing.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how applicable or important that piece of the puzzle was to this.
And if you really think about it, she's like, well, he threw, the whatever across the, how many other people have gotten mad and you've thrown something? Like, everybody's done that. I'm not going to say I've never done that. If I hit my foot, like stub my toe, what do? You have something in your hand, you stubbed your foot, what are you going to do? You're going to, right? You're going to throw it down. You're like, oh, that hurt. Me personally, I'm not going to throw it at a person, but I'm going to like drop it. You're like, oh, that hurt. You have your hands full, you stubbed your toe. You never know the situation. We're not there. There's a lot more. There's three sides to every story. His side, her side, and then the truth. So we're trying to figure out what the truth is. And realistically, we're dealing with a lot of people who have a lot of ego. And I'm not saying anything bad about it. I mean, we're all in the industry, right? But there's a lot of
but it is. Ego drives this industry.
Well, exactly. the one thing that's actually tragic about this is in one testimony, they would actually, I believe they also addressed the fact that both looked like they had been physical with one another, like they had been physically fighting with one another. And being that, if that's the case, then this entire relationship was toxic. Extremely toxic and extremely physically violent towards one another, if in fact it's actually all true, if they actually did beat on each other.
Let me say, and if it is true, then that's on both of them. Okay.
Correct.
Yes.
Both of them.
You have to own your mistakes. Everybody messes up, and it's not okay to lay your hands on anybody ever. That's just, there's never a reason for that, but you own it. And
Correct.
Rightfully, she's already said like she's abused him, and she acts like she didn't do anything wrong, and that's not okay.
No, that's been my point from the beginning, is she admits to actual abuse and acts like it's no big deal. No, sorry. Any abuse, whether it's from a man or from a woman, verbal, physical, mental, it is all the same.
Exactly. And we got real quick, we're gonna backtrack here because I just saw Derek is on the stream. He said, going back to the whole pranks thing, he said, I can't top those stories. It wasn't a senior prank, but our basketball team broke into our school to practice over Christmas break. We got caught. Now for the others, it wasn't a big deal, but my dad was chief of police at the time. So
Oh, Derek, that couldn't have been good, man.
ooh, that's a bad one. It's a real bad one. Oh my God. But yeah, I mean, going back to the Amber Heard Johnny Depp story, I mean, again, this is a very difficult, very tumultuous trial. And I said this before on the last episode, these are things that are coming into light and it's uncomfortable for everybody. At the end, no one's going to be a winner. Everybody's going to be a loser in this because this is just all bad all around for everybody. And you know, the trial continues. We'll go ahead and keep everybody posted as to what new antics come up next. Actually, Amber Heard's dog also testified on the stand. You know, if you remember, Amber Heard did say,
my dog stepped on a bee.
He actually took the stand and said, yes, in fact, he did step on a bee and it hurt
He did.
a lot. So it was very tragic.
And he also iced his paw. I think he iced his paw because of the swelling when he stepped on the bee.
Exactly.
I wonder if they had makeup. Maybe they covered it up with makeup.
Oh, God. Oh, wow. Can makeup cover swelling? Can makeup cover swelling? That's a good one.
Was one of the things that was said in the interview.
Yeah, that was
Remember
good.
he was trying to say that. That's why I said it.
Oh yeah, definitely. In other news, former Power Ranger, former Red Power Ranger actor Austin St. John was arrested by the FBI. Pretty much he was saying, go to prison, Power Ranger. What happened here is that he was involved in a massive sting operation involving COVID fraud. According to TMZ, it says, quote, turns out there was a massive federal indictment involving 18 people who now have been charged with fraud. The indictment alleges St. John was part of a scheme to defraud the Small Business Administration's Paycheck Protection Program. That's a mouthful. That's the program basically that's designed to help small business affected by COVID. It goes on to say, St. John allegedly got 16 loans totaling $3.5 million, which he used for personal purchases and not for the intended purpose. Even if it was used for the intended purpose, the feds claim it was obtained fraudulently. Very tragic what happened, and there was actually an update on this story on social media's on St. John's Instagram, saying, quote, father, husband, role model, and friend to many, the indictment detailed today is populated by a multitude of individuals, the majority of which Austin has no knowledge of and has never met or interacted with. It is our understanding that Austin put his faith, reputation, and finances in the hands of third parties whose goals were self-centered and ultimately manipulated and betrayed his trust. We expect Austin's legal team to successfully defend against these charges and lead to his ultimate exoneration. We ask that you respect the privacy of Austin's family in light of this serious situation, and thank you for your support. The other thing that story also said is that there was at least, according to neighbors, 15 FBI agents armed with AR-15s going straight into Austin's home that is located in Texas, in Tahoe, Texas. So this is a big problem. Huge disappointment, especially for a lot of nice kids that watched Power Rangers. Jeremy, you're shaking your head. You seem to be a little upset at this situation.
Oh, I'm trying to keep it under control here. First of all, maybe that post is somewhat accurate. We don't know. But what else are they going to say? What else is his PR and legal team going to say? Oh, yeah, he did it. He knowingly. I mean, of course, they're going to defend him, say it was other people, and say he didn't know what was going on. That is what every person who's involved with fraud cases says. I didn't know. I was doing the honest thing. It was all the other people who were doing something so wrong. So first of all, I don't know how much I believe that. We don't know. Maybe it's true. But this pisses me off to no end, okay? These people, and I swear, I'm not talking about just this case, every single person that they have arrested or that they are currently still tracking down for committing fraud during the pandemic, and taking money from small businesses, in particular restaurants that were dying to survive.
Yes.
And I mean, these are people's livelihoods,
Families,
people's families,
yes.
people's businesses, and they are screwing with that for their own greed. I hope they throw the book at them. I hope they never see the light of day again. It is as despicable as anything. They are lower than a flea on a dog's ass.
And this is Jeremy holding back.
A lot.
A lot. Michelle, you look a little frazzled there.
It's sad.
How you doing?
It's really frustrating. Like you said, there's so many people that are really struggling. I work in the medical field as well, and I actually see every day the people struggling and can't pay their bills, are afraid to go to the doctor. There's so much that happens, and that people who are so selfish, they don't care. And a lot of these people, they don't care. They have no empathy, no compassion. And that's what's wrong with this world. People are like, that's not a big deal. It's not affecting me. So I'm going to take it.
Absolutely.
They don't
heartless.
care. And that's what's wrong with the world. Isn't there's not enough people who actually care. People aren't,
amen to that.
They don't have the compassion, the empathy to care. Like, just be kind to people. It's not hard. Like, not everybody's out to get you. Everybody feels like, oh, that person's coming to talk to me. Ooh, put my guard up. No, they're not out to get you. But you know what? You have no problem stealing his money when, that guy just lost his job that you just stole all of his money. I mean, it makes me sad. I'm like you. I get really passionate.
And you guys aren't the only one on the stream. We have Cecilia that's saying people like that just piss me off, snaking and stealing, all while honest, real small business owners had hard times even trying to get help, including my husband's business. We couldn't get any help and almost lost everything, business and personal. So there you have it right there. Somebody that actually went through this, somebody that actually needs this help, legitimately needs this help. And yeah, I mean, it's the livelihood. It's people's livelihoods that these con artists, these fraudsters are messing with right now. I mean, it's not right. I agree with both of you. And quite frankly, whether or not he knew about it, which, I mean, it's pretty hard not to know when there's like 18 people involved in this whole thing.
I mean, there's so much that's beyond wrong about that, though. I mean, he's supposed to be a role model. These are kids seeing a man steal from their family that they looked up to. Does that make sense? I mean, it's like beyond despicable. Like, he's stealing from people who put money in his pocket. Like, we were fans of his. Does that make sense? And you just stole from them. And now they have nothing. It's really sad. It's despicable.
I completely agree. And, to go ahead and cool Jeremy off here for a little bit, because I know that he's like about ready to
I'm fuming, man.
No worries. Well,
Sorry,
Jeremy,
my lighting got really bad.
Well, no worries, Jeremy. I got a little treat for all of you. As we would always have it sometime in the middle of the show, I go ahead and play TikTok videos. We could have Jeremy blind react to some of these videos. The first one has to do with mental health. And what happens when you go ahead and call a mental health facility? Well, this young lady actually went ahead and saw it firsthand. So, that's strange. Play. Okay, for some reason this thing's not playing right now. I don't know why. Come on, play with it.
I'm gonna pout.
It's not right. It's not
I wanted my comedy.
I have no idea. It's not playing. I'm pushing it.
Where are my laughs? Dang it!
Give me a minute, okay? This suddenly, this thing decided to say, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to play for you. How about that? We're just not going to do it. So
another technical issue, folks. Sorry about that.
It's just it angers me to no end. I don't understand why this thing's not playing.
I'm really upset right now. I'm here.
None of them are playing. They're all like
moment.
Seriously, like none of them are playing. It's just so dumb. Oh my God, I can't believe this is going to happen today. Today's not the day for this. It's just saying, and it's not even popping up. Sorry, folks, no TikTok videos today. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have no idea why. For some reason, this is just not. Actually, I can try doing something else here. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it to do it this way. Because unfortunately, like sometimes this happens. I don't know why. It's just a sudden thing that just. for some reason, I have no idea why, it just decides to say, you know what? No, I'm not going to go ahead and play today. I'm going to do what I want to do, and you're just not going to stop me. So it's that simple. But
Getting a
let me
little
see if
glimpse behind the scenes here, folks.
yeah, seriously. Here we go. We could go ahead and do it this way. I went ahead and did it this way. So here you go. Oh wait, no, that's not even it. Dang it! I almost had it. Nobody speak to me right now. I'm trying to like fix this as fast as I can.
So Michelle,
I know,
My
right?
lighting's like going to. I was like, why is it so dark all of a sudden?
I know, it's oh my god, it's just so bad. I'm trying to fix things as fast as I can. Talk amongst yourselves. How about that? Oh my god, I swear, some of these things is just so random. There we go. That's the one. That's the one.
Here it
Can you guys see it?
yep.
is. Yeah.
Here we go.
Hello and welcome to the Mental Health Hotline. If you are obsessive compulsive, press 1 repeatedly. If you are codependent, ask someone to press 2 for you. If you have multiple personalities, press 3, 4, 5, and 6. If you are paranoid, we know what you are and what you want. Stay on the line and we'll trace your call. If you're delusional, press 7 and your call will be transferred to the mothership. If you are schizophrenic, listen carefully and a small voice will tell you which number to press. If you are depressive, it doesn't matter which number you press, no one will answer you. If you're dyslexic, press 69696969. If you have a nervous disorder, please fidget with the hash key until the beep. After the beep, please wait for the beep. If you have a short-term memory loss, please try your call again later. And if you have low self-esteem, hang up. All our operators are too busy to talk.
I love it. That's awesome. That was great.
That one is brilliant. Oh my goodness.
It just speaks to exactly what most of us are always like, really, if you're schizophrenic, we know what you did and we're coming after you.
I love that. And if you're paranoid, we know what you are. We know who you are, and
that's
we'll
the
trace
one.
your call.
That's the one.
Yes.
So we got
No,
that one going on. We
that's
got that
awesome.
one going on. And this next one actually is pretty much what you should not say in church, but at the same time, when you feel it, you feel it and you want to say it, right? Well, this guy, unfortunately, that's not the case. Check it out.
I just got kicked out of church for saying fuck the devil. What the fuck? I thought we hated that motherfucker.
You can't win. You just can't win.
I mean, come on. We do hate him, don't we? I mean, it's not so bad to say that.
That's something
Right?
my brother would have done.
My grandfather stood up one time in church and told the priest, he was like, dude, get to the point. We all know, get to the point. And I was like,
I don't remember which
Grandpa.
comedian said it, but he was talking about the Bible, and he said, look, I've read it many times. I have, and I don't want to ruin it for you, but I peeked at the end. The devil did it.
Right? No kidding. Seriously. We know the end. Spoiler alert.
It was a fallen angel.
Exactly. This last one actually. Oh, this last one actually had a very interesting hold on. I'm wondering if this is the one that I downloaded, because the thing is, like, I'm looking at all the emails that I send myself. This is how I'm able to download all this stuff. So bear with me here for just a second. No, it's not that one. God, this is what I hate about technical difficulties. They screw with me. I'm the one that's trying to make this stuff happen, and it's just not.
It's the relationship you have with your computer.
It really doesn't like me. I mean,
Sometimes
now I know how Jeremy
sometimes-
feels.
I tell people all the time, sometimes like it loves me and sometimes it hates me. It's like, it's
Mhm.
rough. It's rough. I don't know what I'm coming into the next day. I'm like, okay, you're very pretty. I give it affirmation.
Okay,
You're
I'm going to get
kind.
into something here real quick while you're doing this, because I
Yeah.
just saw this. It wasn't a news story. It was an actual ad. But ladies and gentlemen, we are about 2 steps away from Terminator. Okay.
I
Our
know.
AI is about to take, we are done. Okay.
Why do you think
I
I give
just-
my computer affirmation? You never know.
I just saw an ad. I'm not kidding you, for the first computerized automated security force. Now, given they have no ability to stop you, they have no offensive capabilities. At the moment, it's just an AI that follows around. You can set it for perimeter guard or other things like that. It has wheels. It's completely mobile. and it is a robot security guard, basically. Okay, as soon as they start arming these things, we're screwed.
Well, remember that
It's
movie?
AI intelligence.
Yeah. What was it? Robin Williams was in that robot movie, remember, a long time ago? That's why I always give my computers affirmation and say, I like you. I appreciate you.
Don't go ahead and enslave me. I appreciate that too. It'd be great if you don't enslave me or try to kill me, or anything like that.
Don't tell me we're friends.
God, it's just so
it's scary. You just don't know this. I remember when the Jetsons were like, oh, I'll never be FaceTiming on the phone. Now look at us. All of this is done.
Well, I'll go ahead. I still have that last one for you right here. And this one actually has to do, this one had a very, very interesting twist to it. Check it out.
Welcome to Simple Samples by Pestcorp. Please help yourself. Please help yourself to our delicious new range.
You try one?
Just eat one, man.
But you get one as
I
well.
want to eat this one, man.
Please help yourself. Little Squirts laxatives are the quickest way to relieve your little one from constipation. The super fast-acting laxative. Within 2 minutes of touching the tongue, the formula gets to work to loosen the bowels and open the rectum. The fastest-acting laxative on the market. Little Squirts, from yummy to bummy.
Oh my gosh.
From yummy to bummy.
That guy's looking for the nearest bathroom. He's like, where's the nearest bathroom at right now?
The fact that they bought it, that's
on his
hysterical.
I told my friend because she's the one that actually sent this to me, and I was cracking up, and I was like, the mom immediately snatches
grabbing it out
away
of the
from the baby. He's like, not today, Satan, not today. You ain't getting me today with that. No way.
Whoever came up with that prank and put that machine there is a god. That is brilliant.
Now that's a funny prank, though. You see what I'm saying? That's a good one.
That is a brilliant one.
That's a funny, positive prank. That is hilarious.
Oh my God. Seriously, like everybody was just like, oh, a free sample. Oh, yay, free sample. Oh, crap. No, really, oh, crap.
That's the gullibility of people.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Everything is good.
We finally were able to fix it. We were finally able to get Jeremy to laugh after that last story. So had to go ahead and do that one there real quick. In other entertainment news, SNL cast members are actually saying goodbye to Saturday Night Live after this Saturday's final season finale. And what irritates me the most is that TMZ, bought for and paid for by the Kardashians, apparently, because all their news stories about are about the Kardashians and anybody they're dating. Top story: Pete Davidson is leaving SNL. He's not the only one that's leaving SNL. And then they went ahead and put in their story, but Pete Davidson's not the only person that's leaving. So is blah 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 blah. I'm like, dude, seriously? Come on. Because he's dating Kim Kardashian. Now he's getting huge publicity on TMZ. Annoying. Anyways, that's my little rant for right now. It just really, really irritated me. But the other cast members that are also leaving SNL are Kate McKinnon, long timer right there. Amazing actress. I mean, she's just comedian. Amazing, absolutely. She's going to be missed on SNL. A.D. Bryant, Kyle Mooney, all of them, along with Pete Davidson, are also expected to leave after this season finale. It ends. It's going to end. 47th season is going to be tomorrow evening, so make sure everybody tunes into that. Definitely. Major comedians are going to be leaving there. I'm not saying Pete Davidson is not a major comedian, but compared to Kate McKinnon, I'd have to say that I think she would be missed mostly, in my opinion. What do you think, Michelle?
I agree completely. I think it's going to be sad. It's not good.
See, I look at it the other way. It's SNL always has turnover. I mean, every 5
Really
to 10 years, you're going to lose a big part of the cast. And I look at it as an exciting thing because I want to see who they're going to replace them with. I want to see who's the next generation. I want to see that next generation coming up. and their new take on the skits and the parodies. And I've always looked at SNL turnover differently. I'm always excited by it.
That's true. That's a great way to look at it. I like that.
No, I completely agree, and we'll just have to see what the future holds. SNL has always shelled out amazing talent, absolutely amazing talent. So we'll see what the next generation holds. I mean, there's still some long timers there that are still remaining, and they're just, I guess they're going to go ahead and coach the newcomers coming through. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens next season after this season finale of Saturday Night Live. Go ahead.
Regardless, it's sad to see him go, but
of course
they're going to be doing great things. So either way, we'll see.
Exactly.
Absolutely. In other entertainment news, this is a documentary that I'm definitely going to watch right here. Carlos Santana has a documentary coming out, and it's going to be directed by Rudy Valdez. This, according to Variety, quote, Latin American jazz fusion icon Carlos Santana will be the subject of an expensive documentary directed by Emmy winner Rudy Valdez. Imagine Documentaries is collaborating on the project with Sony Music Entertainment, which is co-financing and handling distribution. It will follow Santana's journey from a 14-year-old street musician to a 10-time Grammy-winning global sensation and feature unseen archival footage and tracks. So they're going to be showing stuff that many people haven't even seen yet. I'm excited about this. Jeremy, you got a major crazy look on your face.
I'm fanboying here. I love Carlos Santana. I mean, he is one of my favorite guitarists of all time. Him, Stevie Ray are two that's the gods of guitar for me, and who I can always put on and just raise my spirits. Santana is one of the most soulful guitarists that I have ever heard, and to hear more of his story, because it hasn't been put out there. He's always been kind of a private guy. He hasn't written biographies and all this different stuff. So not only getting to hear all that backstory and getting to learn more, but like you said, getting to see some rare tracks and footage we've never seen, maybe hear some songs we've never, heard. I'm excited, man. You can bet I'm going to be tuning in immediately.
Black Magic Woman, man.
Rudy Valdez is a great director.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's an Emmy Award winner he's not an Emmy Award winner. He is an Emmy Award winner. Actually, Rudy Valdez. He has actually won a few. So I mean, him directing it would actually fit. It actually fits. It actually fits perfectly with the documentary. Michelle, you're a singer-songwriter. How psyched are you about this?
I am so excited. He's so humble, but he's one of those mysterious, you want to know more about him, but he keeps it so hidden and secret, which draws you in even more. So you're so everybody is going to be watching it over and over and wanting to know every little detail on how he became who he was and how he keeps himself humble and kind. He's the kind of guy you can just go up to and hang out and have a drink with and just chill. And you're not worried. You're not worried about him having an ego. He doesn't have that ego. It's so cool.
He seems very humble. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
He seems very humble. I mean, I love his music. He's like you said, he's the type of guy that you probably, if you sit down or whatever, he'll probably pull out the guitar and start just playing and just, having a good old time. So definitely looking forward to that documentary. In other entertainment news, Jeremy, this is a story you found right here. Dr. Oz goes old school on weed.
Yeah, and don't worry, folks. We stay away from the politics as much as we can. I'm not going to get into that side of it at the moment. It's just a comment that Dr. Oz made that I wanted to address. And it was a comment stating that he's against the legalization and normalization of marijuana because it will make people lazy and not want to work.
I've heard that before.
Well, yeah, it's one of the oldest tropes that the anti-pot people have been using for 60, 70 years at this point, and it's a joke. Okay, first of all, in today's day and age, maybe there was a time when that was true, because most of you didn't know what you were getting. You had no idea if it would get you up, get you down. There are so many different strains. We've learned so much more. I'm a huge medical marijuana advocate. I mean, it helped my grandmother. It helped one of my oldest friends through her tumors that she has had to live with her entire life. It's now that we've been allowed to start doing research, we understand so much more about it. We understand about the different compounds and why this type might do this for you and this type might do that for you. Okay. Half the CEOs of Fortune 500 companies in the world admit to smoking weed. Okay. You're telling me they're not functional. These are lazy people. These are, people who are working their butts off every day. Athletes, entertainers, people who are literally working on their craft every single day. Football players, basketball players who are in the gym every single day, who are on the court every single day, on the field every single day. Excuse me, but they all smoke weed. You're calling them lazy? It's just a very old trope that anti-pot people try and use to discredit it. And it's ridiculous. It really is. With the amount of strains they have now, there are actually strains that are used to combat anxiety, even though everybody who is on that side will tell you pot will just make you paranoid. No, there's types that you can use to combat anxiety. There are types that are energetic, that actually help you get up and function and help combat depression. There's, so to make it generalized. Well, and even then it's broken into so many different categories and there's so much more we know about it now. And to make kind of a blanket statement like that and generalize that it's just evil because it's going to make you lazy. It's just an old, tired talking point, and it needs to go. It really does.
Well, Michelle's actually, I know that you're in the medical field and you're a respiratory therapist.
I am a respiratory therapist.
So, I mean, what are your thoughts as far as looking at it from a medical standpoint, from a respiratory standpoint, maybe? I mean,
I think we have more, we had to educate ourselves, and we have to do research on anything, any type of drug. You have to have that research and you have to understand it. Like you said, there's so many different variations of it that are helpful. People assume because I'm a respiratory therapist that, she hates this, she hates that. I have no issue. Everybody teach their own. I don't judge anybody. For me personally, I would rather people use edibles rather than smoke it. Okay. So for me, I'm like, if you're going to do it, use an edible. You only get one set of lungs. Once your lungs are gone, they're gone. You only get, and if your lungs aren't working, none of your other organs are working. I'm just saying from the medical world. So for me, I don't have an issue with it. It's all about how you use it. Again, job security.
Absolutely.
So either way, I'm winning.
You might find this interesting, Michelle. My very, very dear, one of my dearest and oldest friends, his mom, unfortunately, was diagnosed with skin cancer on her leg and ankles, and she developed multiple tumors and was lucky enough to get into a study down at, I believe it was John Wayne Cancer Center. And they used direct injection therapy with a new cocktail that is injected directly into the tumors. It not only worked, but it is now out of the trial phase. And one of its most important ingredients was pure cannabis oil.
Honestly, goose pimples, because I'm all about that kind of stuff. Like there's so much people don't realize that it can actually help, but people are afraid to expand their minds. People are so closed-minded. You have to, and that's what I love about the music world and the medical world. Like I'm kind of a nerd, because if you actually do the research, there's so much you can actually do to help. If you actually do the research to find it, it's just like when cancer first came out, they're like, oh, we can never cure this. You know what I mean? Look how many people are getting better with cancer right here. There's another prime example. You just have to have the research, and you have to let people do the studies. And people are afraid of different. Everybody's afraid of different. Nobody wants change. And if it's uncomfortable, they don't want to do it. They want to just be, okay, this is uncomfortable. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. No, if it's uncomfortable, go do it. You probably need to do it. You need to try it. Why not? Anything. If it's uncomfortable, you should push you even more to be more confident. Go trying it. Okay, let's do this. So no, for me, I think it's great. I think people should do more research on it. Again, preferably edibles. But again, there's so much. There's so many other cures and things coming from it. You just have to be open-minded. I have friends that have so many friends and family that are involved in it. Again, I personally have never used marijuana. just my personal choice. Teach their own, right? I'm not against it for other people. It's just teach their own. It's just my personal preference. But I think people should make their own choices. And just some people don't like taking antibiotics. I do like taking antibiotics when I'm sick. It's a personal preference.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
I'm just saying, there's some people like, oh, antibiotics. I'm like, oh, they helped me out. I'm feeling good now. I wasn't feeling good 10 days ago, and look at me now. So no.
No, I totally agree. And, I mean, it's one of those things where education, knowledge, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So hopefully,
educate yourself.
Exactly.
Knowledge is power. Knowledge really is power.
As we said earlier, people will go ahead and grab a nugget when they can to go ahead and grasp onto a story and make it juicy. But if you don't do your research and you don't actually like watch what you're talking about, then you might end up looking like a fool amongst a lot of other people. So that's the news. That's the news. That's the news in case you haven't heard it. Thank you so much for being here on the Navarr-Miller Report. Thank you, Michele, so much for being our special guest co-host.
For having me. I appreciate it.
We loved having you here for sure. And just out of curiosity, where can people stalk you on social media?
Right now I have my Instagram page, which is Michele Music. It's just Michele Music Official. You can find me there. You can also find me on Facebook, Michele Official. Actually reopening that, had it closed down for a little bit. And also my TikTok. I do have a TikTok. We just opened up, Michele Official. I figure keep it just the same. Michele Official. Can't forget it, right?
Why not?
And it's Michele with one L. Michele.
Do you have any tours coming up soon?
Actually, we just started. There's a lot more coming up. We are just released our first single, so I'm letting my management team take care of all of that. I don't have any tour information right now, but when we do, we will update it on our accounts and keep everybody posted. I hope you guys love the music. There's so much more coming. I've been working with Ronnie King. He's amazing, the best producer.
Yes, he is.
Phenomenal. Like when we met right away, we just the music just started flowing, the writing, and it's so fun. It's so cool. I love it.
Now, Ronnie King's amazing. We love having him on the show. Ronnie King's a good friend, and we love having him on the show. And again, we loved having you on the show as well, Michele. Hopefully you'll be able to come back again very soon.
I hope you have me back. I love it.
Well, we'd love to have you back. For right now, I'm Dave Navarro.
I'm Jeremy Miller.
And we leave you now with Michele's newest single, Goodbye, appropriately named Goodbye. We'll see you here again next week on the Navarr-Miller Report again, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm always here with this guy, which is always a pain, but, what are you going to do? Just got to go.
A growing pain.
Growing pain. Aptly named. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate everybody.
Thanks
leave
for
you
having
now.
me, guys.
No problem.
Thank you.
We leave you now with Michele Christensen's newest single, Goodbye, featuring Ronnie King on keyboards. We'll see y'all next time.
Everybody has a past, everybody has a place to look back, I shook it off. I look back, I shook it off.